very graphic photos of somebody who was shot in the head or not floating around as an incitement to additional violence or as a propaganda tool. That's not who we are. We don't trot out this stuff as trophies.
Now, Carney went on to quote the president as saying there's no need to spike the football. That's not who we are. We get some of our reporters some pictures here from overseas. Take a look at this with me. This is from Pakistan. An American flag burned at the demonstration. This was Tuesday. Take a look at this. This is another image from Pakistan. Massive demonstration there in support of the dead bin Laden. Now, the reaction we have seen thus far has been relatively muted, and U.S. officials apparently do not want things, of course, getting out of hand, potentially endangering Americans both here at home and abroad. Dan Loken is at the White House for me this afternoon. And Dan, not in our national security interest, according to Carney, according to the president, to make these photos public and quoting the president, this is not who we are. So, Dan, my question is, was there ever even a time when the president considered releasing one of these photos?
That is such a good question, and in fact, Jay Carney was asked that at a briefing this afternoon, and he said from what he had seen, the president was pretty solid in his decision, at least as of yesterday, but formally making that call sometime this morning, Jay Carney saying that he was in the room, and again, at the very foundation of this decision is this administration believing that it was not in the national security interest of this country for these photos of Osama bin Laden dead to be released. There was a lot of pressure on this White House, and certainly as we've been reporting over the last few days, there's been this sort of internal deliberation as to whether or not it should be done. And I asked Jay Carney if it was the majority opinion of those advising the president that the pictures should not be released, and he said, yes, we do know that CIA Director Leon Panetta had been very public about suggesting that these pictures would ultimately be released. But again, most of those around the president advising him, according to Jay Carney, were telling him that these photos should not be released.
Well, let me jump in because you mentioned Panetta and sort of juxtaposing news today with what we heard from him last night. Sort of indicating to the public that the picture would be released. Here's a portion. This is from Leon Panetta just last night.
I don't think there was any question that ultimately a photograph would be presented to the public. Obviously, I've seen those photographs. We've analyzed them, and there's no question that it's bin Laden.
Were you debating how the release of a photo would go over given its gruesomeness versus the need on behalf of people all over the world to demand proof of death?
I think there's no question that there were concerns and there were questions that had to be debated about just exactly what kind of impact would these photos have. But the bottom line is that, we got bin Laden, and I think we have to reveal to the rest of the world the fact that we were able to get him and kill him.
So, Dan, given what we just heard there, and I know that, our team at the